Okay. Okie dokie. I do believe we're live. What's going on, Bone Circuit? Yes, it is Cathode Ray YouTube time. We're on the Cathode Ray Day. It's always Cathode Ray Day in this household. And today, I don't know what we're going to do. I mean, we're going to do some art. That's for sure. We got some art that's required. I haven't been doing enough art for the game, and now we're at a point where it's actually quite the bottleneck. So I suppose I gotta do some art. I gotta do some 3D modeling. Gotta do so much stuff today. Let me fix my monitors a little bit. Okay, a little bit better. Yeah, he's a real boy, Zero. What's going on, Ricardo? Good to see you, man. Good to see you guys here. Why not UE? I don't like UE. It's bloated, it's humongous, and I don't need it for all the things I'm doing. Honestly, most people don't even need UE for most of the things they're doing. Most people don't need, like, deferred rendered engine for most of the type of games they're doing. But that's just the one thing. Good to see you though, Sai. And what's going on, TST? On PC today, very nice. You love to see it. So, let's take a gander at the game as she is, and we're gonna figure out the tasks for today. And, yeah. So we're gonna hide those errors, because that's just how we do. And we have the garage. And we can do our upgrading here. I need to fix some of the logic there, but we'll see how much logic we have to actually do. And I think this is pretty intuitive. This is dealing with hearts, this is dealing with speed, and this is dealing with handling. So that's there. We need to do the buddy stuff. I designed a new buddy today. In fact, I posted on the Discord. If I can find it. Do I not have? Here we go. Or do we do? I think I posted it on the Ideas channel. So I think we're gonna try adding this dude today. We actually might have to do some coding. I need to implement. You have to implement the mechanic of like having coins be like drawn to the player, but that's fine. That's easy. Did you find the restart glitch last night? The glitch of like why the character wasn't placed in the right place. I mean, I did, but also I didn't. I'm pretty sure it's to do with how we deal with implicit casting, and when within like a specific. Let me find it here. I think it was in. Where did I put you? You're in player. Yeah, so we have this expression here, and before we didn't do this. I just directly did this, and there's some oddities about doing that, because in fact there's actually a little bit of oddity for doing it the way I'm doing it here as well, but whatever. Anyways, but yeah, the oddity is like we have these values, constant values, which are integers, and we have this value, which is a float. And when we're doing math with that, there's actually some implicit rounding that's going to be done that may not work the way you want to. But by actually being explicit about stuff, it actually seemed to fix the issue. So I should probably go down the weeds of like what's going on here and why that's happening, but it's fine. Well, maybe it's not fine, because I think I may have encountered it today, but I can't reproduce it. So I don't know, maybe it's a Heisenbug or something. I don't know. Hopefully you guys are doing well today though. Hopefully life is treating you guys good this evening. Also, do you guys like the blue color, the purple color for the light? I decided to change it from the regular blue. Just wanted to do something a little bit different. I kind of wanted to do red, but that feels like I don't know. It feels kind of like, I don't know, like something's gone wrong, or you know, or in a submarine in the 80s or 90s. I don't know. I'm not sure if this is the vibe. I'm not sure if you guys would dig that. Yeah, it feels very danger. Very danger. There's orange. But it's like, it's so orange. There's no contrast, you know? It's like the violet and blues kind of more nighttime feeling, so that's kind of where I've settled at. Blue, yeah. That's what I'm thinking, Ricardo. Let's go on Parker. Hey, Hope. All is going well. All is going well. We're just getting started right now and getting hunkered in. Finished work a little bit ago and figure we do some art or something. Might have to fix some code here. But yeah, so I think we're gonna we're gonna be taking this idea and making it real. I also have to do, because we have these other buddies in the game. We have this like cone dude who's gonna be doing the drill thing, and then we have this buddy here who's gonna be like the give you a phase power up. There's another one that's gonna be for the time stop, but I don't know. We're gonna figure that out. Let's see if the bug reappears. Nope, we're still good. So this quad right here is where your buddy's gonna be. Like when you're flying around and stuff, that's where they're gonna be hanging out. And then when you do an ability, like for example the drill, okay, I guess not. Why is it not working? I'm pretty sure I got it working last stream. Oh, because we have animations, and the animations are not going to play now. So it's going to throw an NRE. Yep. Okay. So we're going to get these boys into the game. And I think we also have to go through the level. This is the Blender file for everything. So we're just going to be... I'm probably going to do some modifications to this as well. And then we have to do like the pendant stuff too. So this drawer comes out and then you're gonna see your pendants there and whatnot. Yeah, well, we're gonna get to a bunch today. I'm hoping, at least. Where are we at? Buddy view. We need to put something on TV. If you guys, I need some ideas for like shows or ads or something to put on here. So we could have a buddy just watching, chilling, watching TV. I love Cube 008 object. Yeah. Yeah, I'm one of those unhinged people who just don't. We don't name things here. We don't name anything. It's just Cube. It's just gonna be Cube all the way through, dude. Oh man. That's optimal workflow, okay? It's been quite a bit since I've been able to join stream. I really like the home menu. You've made lots of progress. Thank you. I'm glad. Looks cool too. Yeah, I'm trying to make this more like cozy, right? That's the idea here. How many subs do I need to go live? I don't think you need any subs to go live if you want to stream. How do I hook it up to my PC or like run through my PC? What do you mean exactly, Kiko? You use the Wayback Machine to look at early 90s web ads. I should. Well, I'm thinking about do you legitimately? Okay, guys, here's an idea. Here's like a little idea. Here's an idea. Old ad. Amazon. There's a specific video I watched recently, like 2000s or it was like what, the .com bubble. Yeah, not 2000s, like 90s. I need to find it. Yeah, this one I think. No, that's Amazon Vintage. I just wanted to see a general one. .com bubble ads. I mean, it should be fine to just play this. Yeah, this one here. Commercials of the .com. Oh, that's
one
loud.
and only
That's
company
loud.
that
Stop.
owns the
Leave me
entire
alone.
network.
Stop. Why is it lagging? Why is it lagging? Okay, let's try this again. But yeah, what if I just download this and put this in the game? I just have this playing on the TV.
And I find 57 books on the subject.
Amazon.com gives such great discounts that even with the shipping you come out ahead. I like
Dude, why is everything being so laggy today?
to sit here and punch one button and my books on wood.
Oh, you're talking about streaming, like what app to use. Yeah, OBS is a year ticket to doing that.
Lycos? Go get it. Unleash the new Lycos, and no matter what you're looking to retrieve from the internet.
So yeah, what if we just put this in the game, dude? Do you think Amazon would sue us? Like just having this. I mean, half the companies in this have gone under already, so like, do you think it'll be fine? Should I just do it and then wait until I get a cease and desist? Yeah, legit, I should actually. There is an MP4 player in Unity. No shows, just ads. Okay, I don't know why my UI, like this is super, is it just YouTube? I don't know. Why is it so laggy? What have I done to deserve this? I don't think I'm using that much RAM. I'm not using that much dedicated WAM. But I don't know. Alright, games, right? How would you even implement that into the game? I mean, it's easy. So, like, you can have UI canvases, right? And you can make them be in world space. So I can just do something like this. I can go into UI, and I can go into, excuse me, oh my goodness. Unity on Linux kind of sucks, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. Canvas. We got a canvas now. Now I can make it world space. A world space canvas. Fantastic. And I can move this bad boy around. And I can shrink it and deform it however I need to. If I can find where my location is. Okay, here we go. Let's bring it like super around there, I think. Let me also put something on the UI. So within our canvas, which we have here, you can go, there's a few things. UI, I saw this like recently too. There's a video player you can add. Oh yeah, video. What do you have here? Video player, there you go. And then what, you have a video clip. I guess you could just drag and drop them MP4 and you're good to go. So, I haven't, let me see. This is gonna be so dumb. Let's go to fight, or no, projects, I think. I have YouTube DLP, so hopefully I could just use that. I forgot the settings though for video specifically. I'm gonna make a directory called ads. Okay, yeah, you work. Okay, so request format is not available. List formats. Okay, that kind of sucks, but okay. If anyone who uses YouTube DLP might have to hit me up with nothing there. No host specified. What are you talking about, Willis? Let me catch up in chat real quick. What's going on, Sir Elderberry? Good to see you, man. Lions and some nice white nose could be cozy. That's true, but I don't know. Like, I grew up where during the Grudge, or during the hole, the wealth. So like TV static is always. I mean, the TV static's always been kind of, you know, gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know. Maybe the people who play this are not gonna have that same predisposition. All right, I don't know what to do here. U2 DLP download MP4. Someone just give me a cheat sheet. Thank you, Reddit. Reddit, you're always there for me, man. Alright, what do you have here? What is this magic command you have for me? Dude, that's a sentence. It's a paragraph. Okay. Are you using FFmpeg or something to do this? I want to do this, but also, like, I'm not sure if I want to spend the rest of the stream. Also, I think I did something wrong. Whatever. We'll give it an old college try real quick before we... Dang. GG's. You okay? I always say yes to what? Kind of existential feeling. Maybe it's just different generations. Yeah, go with the micro banners and banner ads. They'll let size and more clout. If your YouTube DLP fails, just use deter. You change the command to pwn. I don't know. Or you know what? You guys want to go to a sketchy YouTube? Actually, no, because they give weird ads. I have ad blocker, but I don't trust it either. It doesn't always work. Dude, what's going on here? I'm kind of sold on this though. Now I kind of want to put this ad in the freaking yes, YouTube DLP tutorial. I thought I was gonna do art today, but no. We're gonna figure out YouTube DLP. Okay, YouTube DLP. Oh, so you do the link first and then you do this other stuff afterwards. Okay. Okay, there's hope, guys. There's hope. There's hope. We can have ads in our game. That's what the people wanted. They wanted more ads. They said, Cabin guy, we just don't have enough ads, man. Be the guy who brings ads. I can't read. Almost. One second. I'm gonna stop messing around with the URL. I'm just gonna send it. Alright, it's not. I'm getting a lot of bad news bears. I guess it's GG. We're not gonna have ads in our game yet. Nice keyboard, thank you, man. The last targeted ad I got was trying to sell me a washing machines. Are you a man who needs his washing machines? How's it going, Terrell? It's good to see you, man. What's the channel about? What's the channel about? Usually I work on games. And I kind of show the whole process of it. What platform you code? I don't code on a I code on an IDE sometimes, and sometimes I code in raw Vim, and depends on what I'm doing. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. Where's the game? Yeah, I was doing the video player. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna make some assets for the buddies, because we have to actually have animations for them. Right now we're getting NRAs because there's no, where's my, okay, there's Ryder. So we go to the buddy definition. You're gonna find that we have these sprite binders. A sprite binder, you can think about it as just like an animation for the character to play. So there's an animation for example, in the game when they're flying, and then an animation when they're performing their ability, and then an animation for when they take damage. Right now I have none of these, which is why we're getting null reference exceptions, because, you know, there's nothing to play. Likewise, you also have animations for when they're home as well. This I'm less sold on, but we'll see. But at least these, I want to start getting them in. So we have two already. This guy and this this derpy dude. So I think we're gonna do some. I think I'll do something simple for him. Simple flying animation, and the ability for phase. I'm not sure what we're gonna do. Like what animation he's gonna do specifically for that. I guess we'll figure it out. And then after we do that, I think we'll start working on putting, here we go. We'll work on putting this guy into the game. Sounds good to me. In fact, all these characters started out like sketches like that. So boom. Probably gonna start something very simple for the flying animation. We'll start with just the positions, keyframes. I might have to make this like 128 by 128 to be able to, or 64 by 64 to be able to animate this comfortably. So when they're going up, I'm probably gonna have the wings go down. You know, Newton's laws, equal actions producing opposite yet equal reactions. Oh, you're doing it relative to that. Okay, so you're gonna flap down there. Just gonna fill this out. Yeah, how's your days going, guys? How's everyone doing? Sir Elderberry, you said you're doing alright. Didn't sound convincing though, or it didn't sound enthusiastic. That's a better way of describing it. So hopefully, if I'm not reading too much into it, things get even better. Yeah, we're doing pixels. Yeah. You know, sometimes you just go, you know, I don't want to have a secure job in STEM. Let's just push pixels, dude. I was like, Mom, I don't want to be a STEM kid. I want to be a pixel artist. I'm gonna take a second mortgage. Okay, we got that going. I'm joshing. I remember though, I had a moment in high school. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna drop out and I'm gonna be a game developer. My friend did it, he's doing good. Mom, I want to be hungry. Like, I need to have the fear of failure. You just don't understand it, Ma. Okay, are we gonna... So this is up. So we have to have another frame smoothing where it's like going back to that position. Yeah, good thing I didn't do that. I'm glad I didn't do the whole high school dropout thing. That would have been pretty bad for me. That would have been a dark timeline, I could tell you that much. Cozy, we already had this conversation. Some professions are strictly forbidden in this overly supported home. Yeah, exactly. No son of mine will be in fintech. No son of mine will be teaching computers how to be greedy. I refuse. We're gonna raise strictly poetry majors and poetry majors only. Son, what are you doing? Why do you have a signal processing textbook in your hand? Son, you know today's reading is Tolstoy. How dare you? Son, why are you looking at formioles? You know today's finger painting day. How could you do this to your mother? You know finger painting day is special. How can you do this to us? Son, why are you reading about financial instruments? What is a 401k, son? What is an index fund? I've never heard of this. Dear, I hardly even know my son anymore. Alright, we're done. Let's see here. Right, this is an in-between frame. It's looking a little rough right there. It's looking a little rough. It's okay. This is part of the process. At least it's like a very abstract creature. When you do like pixel art humans, there's always a stage where they just look absolutely uncanny for like 80% of the portrait, and then eventually things start working out. Kind of applies here, but it's not as drastic. It's not that bad. So I think we're gonna have the wings, in anticipation of flapping, go up like one little pixel more. Just stretch up a little bit more, little bit more. Son, how dare you study geopolitical things? Son, why? So derpy. Okay, let me catch up in chat real quick. Can make it come to life. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's the beauty of it. Animation. Sir Elderberry, it's been a long day, and sewer pipes at my friends are old, and they broke even more so than I was when I was trying to fix them. That sucks, dude. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I pray it gets better, man. Yeah, that's gnarly though. Dealing with sewer pipes. It's I don't envy it. Yeah. There's a lot of dangers in that. Dealing with the sewers. You never know if you might encounter a clown down there. That's what they don't teach you in plumbing school. They teach you by the textbook, but they don't teach you what to do when you encounter clowns. Cozy, we already had this guy. Yeah. Were you upstairs with the Ghidra? No, I'm not. Not working with Ghidra. I was going CG Liago. Move the head a bit more too. Yeah, we're gonna do the head. I'm gonna have his mouth probably like, I don't know, close and open a little bit. He's gonna be a little slack jawed. A little slack jawed. Okay, so how is this gonna work? So he's moving up. So down here is the lowest frame, right? So he's gonna start moving up. The jaw's gonna be behind. You get to the apex, and now that his skull's going down, we're gonna make his jaw kind of react by closing a little bit. And I think the issue is that it looks weirdly static because it's in the same spot as last frame. So maybe I'll do some micro movements so that it feels a little bit different. No, we're losing volume though. That's a problem. The other solution is to move the entirety of the character so that we have, see? And then maybe we'll keep his jaw up there a little bit. And over here, maybe. I don't know, we'll see what the... Yeah, no, too much mass is being produced there. The only way to make that work is if, like... Yeah, there's not enough frames to do the jaw movement that I want to do. Honestly, at this frame, it's at the most exaggerated part, so it should actually like close and then open up. It looks like he's going, oh, whoa, whoa, wow, 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 wow. So maybe I should do less abrupt, make it less abrupt. And maybe opt to do like yeah. We're gonna play around with this a little bit. It looks like he's eating or something. Yeah, I want to preserve the silhouette. I don't want him to actually close his mouth entirely. You gotta have the legs move around too. They're too static. So when they go up, they should be like the most tucked in. And as he goes down, they should spread out a little bit. So maybe have this move forward a little bit more. And I'm gonna do the same frame over here. And now we're gonna have this 2 pixels go forward a little bit. I think on this frame we're gonna have him yeah. The frame that's bothering me is this one. You have to keep this out a little bit more. Maybe even have it follow its movement to its conclusion. Let's see. Maybe have some minor like subpixel stuff going on. Subpixel-ish things. Because we're not really doing that much. We're not really doing any anti-aliasing. So I don't really have that much option for subpixel movement. Unless I decide to introduce some anti-aliasing, but I think I'm gonna keep it kind of simple. Yeah, you know what? This feels too like it's. Yeah, no. We're gonna keep it a little bit more static. Or maybe I could just add more frames. Also, this pixel is kind of bothering me. I don't know. Since I did, that's literally like glep. Yeah, right. TST. To get to the nicer PC stream. It's all good, dude. I also replayed a little bit AGO. What's AGO? I'm not sure. Let me think a little bit. I need to watch this. Like, if I were to move my hands, like, and, like, whoops, flap. Yeah, the legs would be pointed and they would spread out mildly. The issue is that right now it almost looks like he's gaining mass that he shouldn't be gaining. So I think we just keep those frames settled there. And we're gonna have the foot, the back rear foot be forward like a few pixels. There's probably gonna be more movement there, but I think it's perfectly reasonable considering, you know, it's a back foot. I almost feel like this should be even a little bit more further up. Yeah, I almost feel like it should be over here. Whoops. Here we go. And then this leg is gonna be a little bit more extended. And that's gonna be fine. Yeah, I'm gonna have this be like tucked in a little bit further. Okay, and let's smooth this frame transition a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm gonna add another frame of animation. I think this animation requires it to like feel really smooth the way I want it to. I think I just need to add that extra frame. I'm probably gonna do it on this one here. So he's going from up there to a pixel below. So this one we can actually make it even one pixel lower. This one will be one pixel lower as well. So now we can have a bit more, one more frame for smoother motion. And we can have the wings kind of unfurl more gradually. And now if I want to do that jaw counter motion, we can just kind of do that, dude. We could just do that. We have the freedom, man. And let me just turn on this so I can actually see what shape this should be like unfolding into. Gotta love onion skinning. Makes things quite nice. Very nice. I catch up in chat real quick. He almost always has both YouTube likes pushing this format more though. Yeah, well, this format's kind of like bounced lately with horizontal, so I don't know. You can't predict the algorithm, right? I just do whatever. Sometimes things bite, sometimes they don't. It's alright. It's okay. It's all gravy. Yeah, so we need to reveal this backside as well. So we're probably gonna have these go back one layer of pixels so the mask feels more smooth. Yeah, look at that. Dude, one frame. You guys see that? Like one extra frame makes such a big difference. Such a big difference. Okay. So now we're gonna do here, keep this animation, unfurling animation smooth. Now I'll probably have this go to the back leg. So the leg's moving smoothly. I'm gonna have this leg also do that motion. Two. Trying to keep the pixel deltas not that extreme, but also I kind of need to make it extreme. Also, this pixel right here is bothering me. But I kind of like it at the same time. It's a weird relationship I have. Oh man. Alright, so that's one animation. Or at least the front of Supermaning. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, I need to do the animation for when they actually activate their ability. So we'll figure out what that's going to be. Okay, let's export this as a sprite sheet. It's probably going to be I'm thinking a 3x3 matrix should be fine. I hate that this is a 128x1 or 64x64, but I think it's fine. It'll be fine. Fixed columns, we'll do a 3x3. That fits good. Export sprite sheet. I'm gonna also change this to be 192 by 192. Okay, centered there. Cool. Let's put this in our buddy stuff. This is gonna be the phase fairy. I'm not gonna type that out. Okay, I'm gonna type it out. Okay, cool. So that's them when they're moving. We have to do the ability thing too. But let's just see how it looks, dude. Let's see how it looks in game. So let's go through the process of actually getting this added as a sprite binder and then hooked up. So we have to go to, I think I right now have an byte config. That's a relic of the past. We're going to create a new or is it a sprite binder? There we go. Put this here. It's gonna have a frame count of what, 5, I'm pretty sure. And you have your 3x3 matrix. Speed, let's do like 4. That sounds good to me. Honestly, I'm not sure why I haven't done a better I haven't like created a better import process for Sprite directly. But, you know, we'll deal with that when we deal with that. So we have this. So where's the buddy at? Buddy registry. Times dot phase shift. Okay. What? You're the wrong one. Okay, cool. So you're gonna have the flying animation. Cool. One of at least couple done. So when they do that like phase, like when they activate their ability, what are we gonna do? What's gonna be the animation that you do, buddy? What do you do? Maybe I won't do anything. Maybe they just like... Or maybe they change color. Like maybe we can do an inversion thing. Or maybe we just do the same shader we do on the player. Because this is when they make the player intangible. So the player just goes like semi-transparent, which is why we have like these like lines across the entire character here, because it's kind of mimicking the same effect the player goes through. Something I could do is like maybe have them use like not actually color inversion, but something akin to it. Something like this, maybe. Heck, maybe I can just yoink the entire animation and do that. I don't know. Or maybe just keep it the same, man. Let's see. Let's just put it in the game and see what happens with what we have so far. In fact, let me use out the... Because I think right now we have the Wrecking Ball thing as number 1. For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know why. Time Stop is number 1 here, and yet it's showing up as Drill. Kind of odd, honestly. Let's try this out. And within the actual, you have to play the animation. So on Buddy and Knit, you also need to play the animation for them. So let's do that. In fact, let's just cache the initial Buddy on a Knit. I'm pretty sure it's set to true, but I'm just gonna be extra cautious. So true, sets right, and then let's just see how it looks. Headbutt. Yeah. All my friends are power-ups. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Abhishek. This creature burbs bubbles. Bubbles would be a good theme, honestly, with this character. What game am I making? I'm making a little racing type game. We're gonna see the gameplay right now. We're gonna see. Hopefully, everything works. I think I have to change the shader. The shader is not correct on the material, but we'll find out. So we hide all those. So No animation on the character. I'm assuming because the sprite isn't set. So let's go fix that. Character, buddy, no sprite binder set. Interesting. Because we call that on a knit, so there should be a sprite binder there. Player chips. Okay, there's a null reference happening there. So it's happening on here. Which is strange. Because we set the flying ability for this. Oh. Also, did I set it to, yeah, game flying sprite, yeah. So let's do a few things here first. Okay, let's make sure that's not null, first of all. And then second of all, let's also make sure that we have the correct shader here. Oh, what are you building? So I'm making buddies for the game. These like little creatures that give you power-ups and stuff like that. And I'm making them fly next to the character. Or we're trying to make that happen right now. But right now I'm going through the process of hooking up the pipeline of data so that this knows what assets to load up, and you also have to set the right shaders so that it can actually render it correctly, which I don't think I've done the due diligence of doing correctly. Here we go. Game board, player, character, buddy. I'm gonna set an animation because I think this requires one on start, and this also needs a material. Let's go deal with that too. Buddy, we're gonna create a new material. Let's see here, man. There we go. Okay, we're going to use our custom sprite shader, FNF standard animated. Yeah, that's correct. Cool. And I think on top of that, we're going to make the buddy sprite be a little bit larger. Because there's going to be mostly transparent space there. Alright, let's see. No. Nar. That's not what I wanted. How could you have done this to me? Alright, what's the issue? Value's null. Okay, and that's coming from here. So this is being null, which signals to me that we're not selecting the thing we think we're selecting. It's not there. These are, well, first of all, these are all in the wrong spot. They should be. I'm gonna throw them into the correct place. Yeah, I'm gonna put this. So phase shift belongs with the phase fairy. Dash, I don't know. Time stop. I don't know where you're gonna go. Wrecking ball. You're gonna go with the ice cream dude. That's all I know for right now. I thought I set you. Okay, we'll fix that. Why is everything out of order here? Let me set you to time stop. I think that should be the correct one. That should hopefully work. Actually, maybe I'll just put all this stuff in resources, so that it's just all in a uniform place. And then let me figure out what butter we're dealing with. Okay, cool. So everything's in one spot now. And I can either try running it. Let's see, there's kind of a collision too, because there's two things that have that wrong. Stop, dude. Okay. Come on, wrecking ball. Yep, you're correct. I'm assuming this is the one that's going, because that's the one that was first last time as well. I don't know why. Let me set, in fact, just to test all of this. I can't modify not supported for scriptables? Okay. What is? Oh, you won't let me paste either? I just want to test to see how this looks. That's all a dude wants to do. Alright, let's try it out. This time is for real. Let's see. I just want to see the animation in game, dude. No! Okay. No errors. Interesting. So... what does that tell us? Oh, I'm supposed to be using FNF standard, I guess, instead of animated. I don't know why. Okay, yeah, I understand now. Animated, so if I want to have the GPU just do the animation. Standard is if I want to have the CPU do the animation. I see now. My mistake. My mistake. Nope. Still wrong. Palette mask. We're not doing any of that stuff. Per pixel lighting, yep. Is unlit, nope. Disable cast shadows, yes. Phase shift, no. All that stuff is fine. These properties should be set by the animator. This seems to have everything it needs for to be successful. There seems to be a duplicate here too. I don't like that. Let's make sure we have the correct one. Yeah. Now we're sure that we have the correct buddy. Okay, hopefully that's everything. Let's run it. I just want to see a flying little glep. No, no flying glep. Okay, let's see what's going on here. What appears to be the issue, officer? How? These are not related exceptions. There's no texture being provided there, so that's part of the problem. It has this here though. So why is this texture not being assigned? That's strange. Can I not just, okay. I mean, I'm assuming if I put this here, it's gonna work. Hey, look, and it's our little buddy. He's next to us now. I'm not sure how well you can see it on screen, but now he's with us. I think I need to make him fly faster. Also, I think I need to make him move in world space instead of like local space. Cause this feels like it feels like they're too attached, too locked into us. Well, okay, we're on the better path. Why this is not yeah, I'm not sure why that's not setting the sprite property. Unless, like, we're using a different uniform name for the property in the material, which was an issue on another instance. And I'm willing to, no, it's main text. So that actually should be just correct. Okay, so it's not that. So we're doing this. How is it that the sprite is not having their sprite assigned? Animate material, in case it's null. It's not null, so we do set sprite. You make sure the new material. If the new material is not null, we set it. Okay. That's in the event that we want to override the material that's assigned, but we're not really going to do that. Target material. This whole thing is like super. I wrote this when I first started learning Unity a long time ago. And I've gone through like refactors of it, but there's still like a lot of weird stuff in it. Yeah, main texture property, what is that? Yeah, it's main text, okay. So far, things seem to make sense. The target material is not null. That's fair. This isn't null, though. And then we set the properties here. I wonder if it has the correct properties. Yeah, it's like height. Let's look at the shader and see if it's gonna burn me. No, it didn't burn me. XO, width, height. All that stuff looked correct. It was just the main texture that wasn't being assigned for whatever reason. That's odd. Yeah, main text. Just has texture. That's main text. New material. There's this check I've like randomly, for some reason, just commented out. No context as to why I commented it out. Yeah, pet feeling a bit stiff. Yeah. I think we're just gonna make it into world space, and then if I need to do things in local space, I'll just do the calculation and do the inverse transform point thing, and it'll be fine. It will be fine. Yeah, it seems like it would be doing everything we need to do here. Wait a second. Why would this matter? You wouldn't want to do the assignment if, like, the incoming sprite was, Why? That's such a stupid check. Why did I do that? That's all I really need to check for. I'm gonna get rid of this commented out code. There's probably a good reason I commented out. It's fine. If it's a problem again, we'll just deal with it. This seems reasonable though. Yep. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to change the parentage of our little buddy, but I think it's fine. I think it'll be for the best. Oh my goodness. Hey, look at that. He's working. Okay, why are we stuck? Okay, that was weird. But yeah, the thing is, like, you see how like we accelerate and he's still one-on-one with us? So yeah, we're gonna change this to world space. Completing domain. Dude, stop. Okay. Alright, we're gonna do this. Buddy, you are divorced from me. Be gone. I knew him. Alright. And there's some things that are gonna have to happen to facilitate this little divorce of ours. Such as, this is no longer local space, this is just initial position world space. Oh, we're still keeping this local scale. We no longer have to do this world rotation business either, which is nice because that gets rid of this, as well as gets rid of this little application we're doing now. Yes, very nice, very nice. And we're doing this lerp business with this target we've calculated. However, this target is in local space, so we need to change this calculation into world space, which is going to be simple to do. I think it's going to be simple to do. I have to remember, we have a weird hierarchy situation going on here. Character sprites. I forgot what it is. There's a specific transform. It's just called character. That's the sprite sheets. Root. Okay, there we go. It's called root. Actually, are you just a transform? Okay, cool. We're gonna do an inverse transform point. I'm pretty sure it's just inverse transform point. Right? We transform from local space to world space. Or maybe it's just transform point. I don't remember. It's one of the two. I always get them mixed up. Okay, what do you do again? Stop trying to be helpful, Ryder. When I want you to be helpful, you're not helpful. When you're... Stop. From world space to local space. No, I want to do the inverse. Okay, so yeah. It's just transform point. See, I tell you, I just get it backwards all the time. And now we're going to have the world space target. And now we can do position. Okay, cool. And now there should be more like of a follower and less like attached to us directly. That means the drill thing is going to be a little bit of we have to deal with that. But we'll deal with that when the time comes. Let's just see how this looks. The limited resolution in the CRT gives me Macromedia Director flashbacks of very old game engines like Anvil and Forge on Bungie Marathon. That's wild. Yeah, Macromedia Director is a pullback, dude. A Viber stream as. Thank you. How do I say it? Ignis Ceruleans? Ignis Ceruleans? Hopefully I did good. Or at least close. That's the goal here. Just relax, chill. Nothing crazy going on here. Just a dude. Trying to get a game done, dude. Coding systems is fun, but now we're in the production side of things. I don't see the buddy anywhere. Where's our friend? Where did our friend go? Friend? Where art thou, friend? He's over here. And yet, I'm over here. Friend, why are you so far away from me? You're breaking my heart. Yeah, look at him. He's all the way over there. Why are you over there, buddy? Okay, we're just gonna have to deal with that, I guess. Oh, you know what? We're doing stuff relative to the initial position, but it's world space position, so we don't need that actually. We can just use the direct sine, cosine stuff here, and then maybe I can add an additional offset if I really want to. But this should be fine actually. Okay, cool. Let's try that again. I'll recompile. Dude, man, it's so, because it's gnarly going from working in Unity and Windows to Linux. Working on Unity and Linux has made me more like paranoid. Hey, look at him, he's there. Look at him, he's stuttering along. But he's there. And you see how he's like kind of trailing behind us? He's getting burnt by our exhaust. Yeah, I don't like how he's stuttering. We should fix that. I'm also gonna make the sprite a little bit bigger because he's looks a little small there. Our buddy looks a little small. Not being mean, not being rude. It's where you're at in life, man. It's okay. Oh, is that where the player is too? Oh. Okay, never mind. I guess that's just where you guys spawn. Is that why the offset was happening? I'm not gonna think too much about it. We already fixed the bug, I think. Oh yeah, we need to actually change the value, the lerp constant, before we press play. Yeah, better size. But yeah, he's like stuttering along. Let's fix that. I shan't have my buddy be like this. So we'll do... This is happening, what, every single frame? Every update? Trim buddy to spot, yeah. We're doing lerping. It's strange. You would expect it a little bit more smoother of a... Like, as they approached their target location, they wouldn't be so stuttery. That is actually kind of weird. We can try slowing it down to be like a 2% lerp. Buddy transfer to position target. You can play around with this, but I feel like there's something else going on here that's causing that stuttery feeling for our dude. Also, I should probably add, yeah, okay, cool. There's already add to. Perfect. Ignis. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Thank you. Dude, I'm like, I'm just gonna stop. I feel like I say the same things over and over again. Hey, look at him, he just comes out of nowhere. Yeah, you see that? Like, it's strange. Yeah, I don't think it's yeah, it's definitely something going on there. Also, the initial Z position, I need to preserve it before I forget. Override Z. So it doesn't default to 0, so they can stay in front of the player. And I'm gonna use a higher alert percentage, like 15 or something. But yeah, like, what's the deal here? Do I have to change it to be like every late update? Or fix the update or something? I don't think it's gonna be fixed update. I think it's actually just gonna be on update. Do you have to specify like the player won't update to you? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, 12%. So it's not about lerp percent. The linear interpolation percent is not the thing, and it's going to result. The higher percentage is also resulting in like the thing we didn't want to have happen, which is that it feels very attached to the player. So I don't want that. You know what? I think maybe it has nothing to do with the update function we're using for this, but rather like the coefficient. Like maybe we're having this oscillate way, maybe the speed is like way faster than what we realize, and that's causing that stutter to happen. And it's actually not due to the alert percentage whatsoever, but rather like the speed of this. A easy way to verify that would be like doing an on draw gizmos. And we can cache these calculated cosine, like this circular function, into private variables. So we can draw it there. Or I guess I could just make it. Ultimately, we're actually just drawing target, aren't we? So I could just move target to be a private variable instead. Or a private field. So we got target. Cool, we'll go into gizmos. Target and radius will be like 0.5. Sphere color. Cool. So we have this going on here. I have to also make sure we draw gizmos in play mode. I honestly, this is like the most plausible cause for this. However, I'm not quite convinced. Yeah, because we're using time.time for the input here. That's also kind of weird. Usually it's better to like use the accumulated time we have. That way it can respond to time dilation. I usually have that, but I've been just kind of not wanting to do it. But maybe player actually has that. We have the time coefficient, but as for nope, nope. Yeah, I don't think we actually have any time accruing fields here. Yeah, speed coefficient, lerps, time coefficient. I just realized speed coefficient is kind of, no, that's for the boost. Yeah, so I guess we could just, I could just manually accrue it. It's something we need to do anyways. In fact, I should probably, no. I'm not going to do that in the module. Specify units too. Amount of as experienced. This value factors in time dilation effects. Okay, cool. And then I'm probably just gonna do an update here. Nope, stop. coefficient. So the times for this frame, or the last frame, plus or multiplied by our time coefficient, depending on the time dilation effects. And that'd be a better thing to use for here. But I still want to debug this and see what's going on and how fast this is changing. So we'll keep that as is. I'll let catch up real quick. Remember when this was supposed to be an art stream, by the way? I was supposed to be doing art instead of coding. You can't escape it, man. Can't escape it, man. Buddy based on delta time, which has caused the problem. You should be based on distance from target. No, I'm not going to do distance from target. I'm also using time, absolute time, not delta time. Okay, let's use gizmos. So no, the target is actually oscillating at a very reasonable rate. Ah, interesting. Let's go to the player real quick. Let me go to ship. Let me check something here. So 5%, that's like, yeah, the total time for P. Start end percentage per second is what we're doing. Yes, this is fine. We can rule this out. Honestly, I can even get rid of all the gizmo stuff because that's already ruled that out. That's not the issue. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just need to do. Well, I always do to delta time for percentage to extrapolate percentage to per seconds when it comes to doing that. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe it's actually just too... Yeah, because the way I think about it is like, at the end of 1 second, how many times should that lerp to its target? 20 years ago when I studied dev at school, hey man, time flies, I guess. Isn't it cool seeing the gizmos all being drawn? No, but the percentage is gonna be too low. Ah, man. I don't know. I don't want to deal with this. I doubt it's observable. I'm pretty sure observable should be fine. So that's crazy for real. That's all good, man. Yeah, 20 years is quite a bit of time. I'm in college for Bachelor of Science, BS in Computer Science, Business Pathway. Let's go, dude. Oh, Business Pathway. That's interesting. So you're doing the computer stuff, studying CS, but then what is it like prepping you to do a startup or something? Give you that business sense? There used to be like a combinator or an incubator for like businesses back where I studied. It would have been cool to have more insight on the business side of things. I think a lot of people are kind of like It's very easy to get very focused in on just the tech side of things. Okay. Well, this is not going to fix the problem, but I at least want to deal with this. And aside from that, though, right now I'm on an associate thing before the bachelor or however it goes. Okay, so you're like within the first 2 years. Associate of Applied Science and Business. Interesting. On that SaaS train now, and like startups but for fun. I still like coding, game dev, and electronics where it's just pure logic, no business. Yeah, that's the fun part of it. Dude, all I do is very much not business law, or not. I'm not focused on the business. I'm just usually working on implementation and code and stuff like that. I don't know, it's weird. It's interesting when I'm like in meetings and I get to see like the business side of things and how, because there's always a barrier between like the tech team and management and all that kind of stuff, and it's just kind of inevitable because like there's such a big divide in terms of understanding of like the underlying tech. So there's a boundary of trust that just and it's not even about boundary of trust, but there's also like mechanisms to try to bring insight from different ways to like, you know, not even management, but just like the business leaders, right? So there's like different types of metrics or lenses that you can try taking to understand, you know, like what is actually being implemented and what focus or impact does it have and all that stuff. I'm a security agent, completely unrelated. Yeah, I mean, technically what I'm doing right now is, it's kind of related to what I studied, but also it's kind of different as well. There's someone at work where me and them studied different degrees or different disciplines, and now we're working in the opposite of each other's discipline. Like what they studied is what I do, and what I studied is what they do now. It happens. It happens. And college is not the end all be all. Honestly, like, there's benefits to it, 100%, right? But I always feel like my real education started when I got my job. This is the issue here. This is the problem. If I just change this to be a fixed value instead. I mean, it's going to lerp differently on different machines then, that's the issue. That's the problem. No, he's on top of me. Okay, let's actually do the percentage we wanted, ideally, which is going to be like 1, 2. Because I'm pretty sure this program has it. Yeah, imagine if you're doing a bit like a CS degree, you're gonna have to code. You can't escape it. Let's turn off gizmos real quick. Gotta deal with that. You still like stuck onto me, dude. Get off me, dude. I might have to do clamping too, that's another thing. Did it recompile? I didn't even check for that. No, I'm still looking. I'm trying out some stuff. Like all the easing functions do the delta time times percentage, and it works smoothly, so it's very strange. Also, this is not, like, I'm removing the delta time for this, but it's very jittery. I almost feel like it's a syncing issue. If I'm gonna be honest with you, like, the timing from when this is applied is just off. Like, I legitimately almost think that I instead of doing an observable on update, we're gonna do a buddy update. I'm gonna move all this logic into there. Get rid of this. And then within the main player update, we'll call this. Here we go. Get rid of this as well. I'll do this. I'm sorry, what? There we go. Dude, stop compiling. Like, when I want you to compile, you don't compile. And when I don't want you to compile, you automatically compile. I don't understand, dude. Really good touch. I mean, they're cool, but for the final game, I'm not gonna do it. Trying to code with my son to teach him some tips. Hey, let's go, dude. Because I'm trying to code him with my son to teach him some tips. Let's go, dude. Because of you, I appreciate. I mean, that's cool if I'm involved in any of that. Yeah, coding's cool, man. Coding's fun. I enjoy it. There's a reason why I can like do it like full time and then come on here and do it on my part time as well. What is going on? Let me look at something. Because in the physics update too, where do we do it? Yeah, so like for the player, we're doing the same logic the same exact logic. And we're not doing this one anymore though. But within update, we're doing the same exact logic for the player and it's fine. Is none of this being used? So yeah, this is working. This is delta time and percentage works fine. In other places where I'm doing this in update. So what could possibly be causing that weird stutter? The only other thing I can think of is like if there's something contesting for the the right to apply transform changes to that same object. Where is it parented to now that I think about it? It's, no, it's in a static context. Game board is not going to move. That should be static. So I should be able to move them freely. Quad, CC sprite renderer, player. Yeah. Wait, what? Why don't you use a 2D hinge with spring-like elements if it's code-based now? No, I don't want to do that. Like, the lerp mechanism is exactly what I want it to do. And I've done it already in other parts of the code base. And we're seeing that that lerp mechanism is working on the player right now within the same function, within the same like lifetime function. And it's like almost working. There's just some weird oddity happening here. So I'm not gonna bend because of a bug. I'm gonna force the code to do what I want it to do. Yeah, we shall not negotiate with terrorists. Well, at least let's see how long we're gonna keep that up, but yeah. That was like one of the earliest advice I got when I was like started working coding professionally. It's like, no, you're not gonna bend to the will of the code. No, you bend the code to your will. You're not gonna not do what was intentional or right. You're gonna force it to do the thing. Yeah, update flame is not even happening anymore. Buddy update. It's a vector 2 lerp. Target velocity. We're doing a vector 3. There's no component that would stand out from that. We're modifying the correct things. Cosine for x, sine for y. We're overriding the 0 value with this. This is all in local space, and then we're transforming it into world space. Oh. I thought I was. Turns out that the override I was actually supplying an incorrect z value here. I mean, it's negligible though, so it wouldn't cause the issues they were seeing. It's just another thing that was off. We want to overwrite the z value after we transform into world space. So that's one thing. That's a good. Why is try activate chip showing like it's not used? It is very much used. It's very strange for it to not think that. Oh, okay, wait 1 second. Try activate chip. But this is a one-time thing. It's not So no, it should be early returning. It's not going to enter here. This would make more sense if we're activating an ability and then that weird behavior was happening and there'd be some kind of contesting. But even then, this is not actually manipulating any of the transform. So again, I'm confused. None of this is relevant. All this code right here is not relevant to this issue at all. Buddy update. It's false, we return early. That's consistently the same value. The only other thing I could think about is like maybe clamping this. But I don't even think that's the issue here. Or is it math, utilities? Because we don't do that anywhere else either. Really? I'll try that, but I don't feel convinced that that's the correct thing. I just completed a lot of hinge spring stuff, so I'm biased with that hammer at the moment, of course. I approached my local retro bar for a Space Invader game jam event. Hey, that's sick. The game is created. People buy burgers and will design an Invader 2 frame. Then we all vote. Wait, what? Also, it's still... Is this... Okay, 1 second. Let me try to understand this a bit better. So it's a game jam event. The game is created. People buy burgers and will design an invader. Oh, like they design their own invaders. Okay, and then you choose which one gets to go in the game. That's pretty sick. Dude, that must be pretty gnarly, the designs people. I mean, it's a bar, right? That's pretty cool. I think I have to add a coefficient that scales with distance as well. Because I think this is happening because it's getting close to its stopping position. Yeah, I remember having issues with this with cameras a long time ago. Well, like with lerping to moving targets. In local spaces is fine, but because we're moving, the lerp gets noisy as it approaches closer to its target. Dang it, Bobby. How do I go about this? Yeah, because I remember I used to have a camera that lerped to the character for a game I did a long, long time ago. That's actually a thing that's recurred a couple of times too. So it has to have like a certain rule for like when the player's moving at certain speeds and whatnot. Yeah, it's always a problem there. I can always try using a different function as well rather than lerping, but and buddy sprite. It's always the moving targets. Yeah, because like if it was still in local space, it would have been fine. Because approaching it's approaching a known target. Actually, even then, because we're doing the rotation, so even in local space, you'd probably have it. Yeah, you'd still have it to a certain degree. Yeah, it's a whole thing. Okay. So you have our distance. As distance gets smaller, we get slower, I guess. I don't know how I want to go about this. So as distance decreases, I think this is actually fine. It's like a linear relationship. I'll just clamp this. In fact, I think that'd be the only thing I should really clamp here. So I guess I'm wrong in terms of what I want. I don't think lerp might have been what I needed here. Yeah, that's alright. That's how you learn. Or I guess relearn. Let me see how it looks in the side. Yeah, still having that like slip catch up thing going on. Dude, I love seeing the lighting affect other characters and sprites. Look at that, the lighting actually hitting him. Yeah, look at the light sources. That's so sick. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna think about this differently. We're not gonna just do a lerp. I think we're gonna have like a fixed distance. Or I guess we are gonna do a lerp, but it's not gonna be... It's gonna be like at a fixed distance. Or a fixed proportion of the distance between target and like... I don't know. Let's go on Noodle Dream. Come alive more. Let's go, dude. The Dark City background, yeah. I actually want to do some more 3D models for the background levels. I'm thinking about doing... I think we need more of that going on. Alright, I have to think about this. What do I want to do instead? I want to seem like the play. It's oscillating around the player. Or I guess we could have it just do fixed steps towards. But no, like the player moves variably as well. So you can have variable step sizes. I don't know. I'll probably just come back to this later. I'll probably come back to this later when I have a better idea of what I want to do. Not important. I need to do some art. This is fine for now. So we have this sprite of them. Let me do the drill character as well now. Yeah, your sprite sheets, we're happy there. Got him. I don't know how he's gonna be floating around. I'm not even sure how this dude's gonna look. Because when he does the drill animation, he's gonna be like, it's like he's gonna swap off his hat and like switch into this. And that's the idea, at least. And then let me also pull up the let me find it. There's I took some pictures of this. I'll post it in the Discord too, why not? The ideas thing. But yeah, here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, that's the idea. Like he's sleeping like that, but then when he does the drill like attack thing, I think he'll go underneath. I don't know how he's gonna be floating around though. Maybe he's like spinning around, and that's how he's being propelled forward. Maybe just floating like an ice cream. Or maybe he just remains asleep while he's floating next to the player, and then when he wakes up just to do damage. So many possibilities. He looks sad like that. This looks more neutral. A Godot? That's a cool engine. I'm probably not gonna really do stuff with it. But it's cool. I dig it. Yeah, I like the idea of him just waking up to do damage. Yeah, AYZ. I agree. I think Buddy's gonna be like an unwilling now the question is like, are we just gonna have him be I think he's gonna be resting in his ice cream cone. He's gonna be floating in his cone. While he's on the job. Let's make his head a little bit more circular. I don't know, I kind of like the idea of him having his hat on though. Maybe you'll make him a little awake. He looks not happy to be awake. Oh man. I made my 3D Space Invaders for the Game Jam and Godot import to web. Yep. Don't want ongoing costs for that jam, so no commercial software at all. Let's go. No, yeah, Godot 100%. I'm just in the sunk cost fallacy with Unity right now. And eventually I'll just do my own thing. It's just crazy, dude. Finishing a game is actually so freaking hard. Even a simple game, man. Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk? Dude, faces are always so funny. You can do so much. Like we can do the derpy face. We can go like ultra anime-esque face, eyes and stuff like that. There's so much freedom for that kind of thing, man. But it's what's the right decision? He still looks mad. I don't know, he feels a little naked without his hat. Nah, that's fine. You can live without it. trying to do like a cat type face on him. But I don't have enough real estate to really do that convincingly. It's a problem. Maybe if I move like the eyes to the side a little bit or something. No, I'm not feeling sold on anything quite yet. It's crazy how like little changes can completely alter the face. Maybe actually just make it like a cat, an ice cream cat or something. It needs a little more detail. Maybe this is the detail we needed. Some ears for intrigue. And it looks less just purely circular up there, and it's more like a hey. It's like a weird little like cat head crab looking thing. Yeah, I'm making a game, Judy, about burnout with doing programming for full time and then also doing your also as your job side hustle. I mean, not really. Like I take like on occasion like a vacation like once a year or something where I just kind of don't do any coding, and that's always nice. Road trips and stuff like that where I just have no computer or anything. That's always a nice reset. A nice thing that happens sometimes is I get sick, and that sounds bad, but when I get sick I can't work on anything, so I just sit in bed and I play games, and it's like, oh my goodness, I get to feel like a kid. Cause I don't know, like I don't like being idle. So when you're sick, you're just kind of forced to do that. So I just play games, and it's like, whoa, that's great. But no, I don't really worry about burnout too much. I mean, what I do for my day job, I actually do find cool and interesting, and I find this cool and interesting as well. So it's more good on top of, I don't know, just more recreation on top of recreation. That's kind of how it feels like to me. I mean, not always. What works, work can sometimes be stressful, or there's way more weight and less choice in terms of like there's other factors that affect technical decisions, right? But in general, I do enjoy it. If you enjoy what you're doing, I think you're far more resistant to burnout. I mean, that's the reason why like a lot of the big programmers were able to do crazy amounts of hours and whatnot. I think you can only do that kind of thing if you actually enjoy what you're doing. Like, I would get burnout doing like paperwork within a few hours a day. Like, even like 2 or 3 hours would probably, max me out. But if what I'm doing I find interesting, I could do it a bunch. Dude, I was working until like 11 a.m. or 11 p.m. today before I started stream, just because I was like, not because I was had to or was coerced to, but it was like, hey, there's a problem I'm dealing with for work, and I actually find it very like it's like a riddle or a puzzle, right? And it's like I feel that I'm on the cusp of finding the answer to this thing that's eluded me. So we're not gonna stop until we get it, because I feel it. I feel it in my toes. So, you know, that's the whole thing, dude. Yeah, if it's something very interesting, you can just rip, dude. I hope it answers your question, though. I can stay up for 3 days and mega code. Now I fall asleep in 3 hours. What do you mean like you're about to fall asleep in 3 hours from now? Or I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do the face. Now I want to detail it. It's like weird, it's like a head crab looking thing. It'll be like Lamar from Half-Life 2. Lamar! In 3 hours. My sessions are short in old age. Yeah, that's another factor too, is age. With students like I've mentored, I always tell them, like, dude, in your 20s, just, that's the time to just gas it, dude, and like make the most out of what you can, because you know, as you get older, energy, like, I feel my energy, not only like energy, but also like physical stuff like eye focus and like joint and finger pain and stuff like that. You know, stuff starts happening, changes start happening to you, and all of a sudden you're not able to work at that same productivity level. And then like responsibilities as well, when you have kids and a family and stuff like that, or even like a wife or something, right? Like all of a sudden priorities shift, and you can't just be like a workaholic anymore. So it's like, you know, during that golden window, dude, just juice it and grow as fast as you can. Okay, I think I'm cool with this dude here. Alright, we're gonna do some animations. I think we'll do some animations. It'll be super simple. I don't think we need to actually do much. Honestly, the animations can be just done probably through, you know, transform manipulation. But, you know, why not add another layer of motion? Okay. Have the ears flop up. Yeah, time is an important resource, man. Very critical resource. Maybe have it be pixel up a little bit. Yeah, look at that little bounce for the ears, a little secondary motion to lock in productive stuff more, enjoyable productive stuff. are working really well for real, but the eyes still, yeah, the eyes are a little bit weird. I'm not sure how I feel about them. Yeah, I'm not sure either. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to lock in. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but I mean, it's all habits, dude. It's all like I was talking to a friend about this too, but like with all the friends I've had since high school and college, like they've always known that like I've always been very focused on working on games and doing this kind of stuff. So, you know, they didn't see me very frequently because I'm often like disappear on my personal time just to work on stuff, and that's just kind of the trade-off I made in life, right? They're like, yeah, you know, he's gonna be gone, but you know, he's grinding on stuff, but that's cool. But you know, it's like it's also paid off for me in a bunch of different ways I wouldn't have predicted, honestly. And I've made such a habit of doing that since honestly since middle school, that when I started doing game deving. But I find this stuff really fun and cool, and I've always found it very enjoyable. And there's also like he looks evil here, he looks angry. He looks upset there now. Isn't it fun seeing how many different ways you can like make eyes even with the low resolution? But yeah, like I don't know, if you enjoy it, it doesn't become hard. And if you find it meaningful, that's another thing too, right? Finding meaning in the things you do is very important, and I think that's kind of influenced it too. I remember watching this a long time ago when I was in high school, this documentary about called Jiro Dreams of Sushi, and it's about this sushi chef who, like, for all his life has just been focusing on just making better and better sushi, and it's just been like the same routine over and over again. And that kind of resonated with me, and I found myself kind of replicating that, like not intentionally, but just so happens to be like that. Okay, what are we doing here? We're gonna do the anime eyes, the anime style eyes. I'm not feeling the anime style eyes. I don't feel so secure here. I mean, there's also a time to, like, you know, like I mentioned it with some other people I know, that like at some point there's gonna be a time where I'm gonna have to settle down and put this stuff to the side and make do with what I have. In TNT there was a mutant ice cream cat that lives in a fridge. Is that really, Sweet Tea? That's gnarly. I should check it out for reference. Was that a Robots reference? Like the movie? I wasn't intentionally trying to make a reference to Robots, but it is a good movie. Mr. Robin Williams was in that one. He was the Fender. Good stuff. Great role. You know what? Maybe we just make him asleep. I think that's just the solution, guys. I think we found our solution here. Just was gonna say put the cat to sleep, but that sounds sad. Let the cat rest. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let the cat rest. Yeah, look at that. Okay, perfect. The cat gets rest. It's only 4 frames, so we can actually just do a 2x2 matrix. Cool. Late stage professional epiphanies. Yeah, I guess so. I don't think I'm late stage. I'm still kind of, I guess, like middle stage in my well, I guess I'm early in my career technically. I don't know. Just considerations you make. It's all pros and cons. But yeah, there's a season for everything, and I think I'm still in the season of trying to lock in, man. There's so many ideas I want to get done before I can, you know. Where am I doing? Where are we going to? It's gonna be in bike config, buddy, ice cream, apply, pixel sprite, 128, apply, create a sprite binder, and then what's a good pun for this? Like Nyan Scream? Not really. I'm not a pun person. Ice cream, game, idle. And you're gonna have a cell count of 2, frame count of like 4, speed of like, I don't know, 5. So you're gonna have, cool. That's for the drill. I wonder if it's the default one I have set right now. Let's see if he pops up. Nope, it's still this guy. It's so nice seeing like the little dude following you around. Oh, I keep forgetting I have a large delay on my side monitor, so I'm like, why is the input feeling so bad? And I just realized, oh, there's a huge delay, that's why. That's why. Oh, it's a phasability. Oh, wait a second. Phasing doesn't work as well, does it? Let's see how it works in this environment over here. So I'm gonna press phase in 3, 2. Okay, not 1. Not yet. Okay, so it works with this. Okay, so the phasability does work. It just doesn't work with like physical colliders, which is fine. I'm good with that. We need to update the sleeping animation then too, because now you're a cat. Also, we need to do the drill animation. That's a thing. Okay. So now you're gonna be angry, and you're gonna be attacking stuff. Also want to have this be a bit more symmetrical. Right now it's at an angle, but now if you're gonna be doing like a drill attack, it should probably be symmetric here. You're gonna go over here. I'm gonna put on the symmetry tool right there. Right. You're gonna have to be off by 1. That's okay. So far, so good. Cool. Come on. So what position is the cat gonna be in, dude? Yeah. No, we putting just having the cat sleep was the move. What's the move? It was the move. Sleeping cat, happy life. Now I need to figure out how we're gonna make the cat attack. Is it gonna be like just sitting here, like just rotating? Or we're gonna have like the cat do like a... Maybe we'll do like a rotation animation. Maybe that's just what we do, actually. Just straight up like... have the cat spinning. Let me rotate the entire sprite though, so I can actually see it normally. Take care. You have a good one, TSD. Thanks for popping in, man. Yeah, it's pretty late. I'm surprised you stayed around as long as you did, man. So you have a good rest. Get your 8 hours, eat your Wheaties, get your good breakfast, and wish you the best in facing the day tomorrow, man. Or today. This day. Alright. So the cat gets angry. He gets mad. How's the cat's eyes gonna open up? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. We can do the XD expression. That's always an option. Maybe they're squeezing their eye. They went from like a resting peacefully to just like Nah, I don't feel quite convinced with that, honestly. Or maybe you can make them look like the cat look like it's make the cat look like he's dizzy. You know? Do like the swirly eye thing. That's always an option. But it just looks like normal eyes. Like it looks like almost like it's shocked or something. It doesn't look like the swirly eyes. We don't have enough resolution for that because it just ends up looking like normal eyes. You know what? What if there's goggles on the cat? Like, what if the cat had goggles on? And then they just put on the goggles before they get to work. So we can just sidestep this whole problem. The perfect solution. Avoid it. You know, it kind of works though, that's the thing. That's the problem, is it actually kind of works. Even this rough little mock-up. First roll, yeah. Low resolution. Yeah, so far I'm digging this though. I need to figure out the color I want to use for the goggles. I could just keep blue for like the outlines, and then we can like use this for lighting. Yeah, exactly. No higher animations. Big brain, big brain, big brain. Big brain time, guys. Big brain time. Escaping all the problems today. Now I just need to make goggles that look good. At least try to make them look good. Yeah, I want this to feel better in the palette. We got a nice palette going on. What if I just try recycling the colors we had here instead? Whoops. Does it look like goggles? That's the issue I'm having here. Also, is there a different shade for the cone here? Why is that the case? We should be recycling the same colors. Your plant needs me. Dust explosion camera tilts up. Track first. Well, thanks for popping in, man. You have a good one, dude. It's always a pleasure to have you here, man. And I wish you well in your journey and your mission. In your endeavor to save your planet. Yeah, I'm feeling less convinced with the goggles route. Right, this looks fine. I think this looks fine, actually. The cat looked a little bald, and now he doesn't look so bald. So now this is fine. This is fine, actually. See, no forehead. No 5 head, just a 4 head. You'd love to see it. And now all of a sudden this goggle just covers him up. Have you guys ever seen a movie called Anger Management? I just feel there's a scene in that movie where the main character, he works at a place where he designs suits and attire for overweight, obese cats. And he's talking about like the design he made for a really chunky cat. He's like, look at him, he's so happy. With like his little suit on. That's how I feel like with this cat. I feel like I've just I've started designing attire for overweight cats. Okay, there he goes. So now we start rotating. Yeah, let me see if I can find the. I should be able to play the clip, right? Anger management. Obese cat. Yeah, this one right here. Dude, YouTube, you need to actually work with me and not lag so hard.
Yeah, but there was never really a line made for overweight cats who might feel a little self-conscious about the way they look in certain outfits. That's why I got the baggy sweater on him to cover up his gut, and the beret to take attention off his plump head.
Yep.
Let me pause. Tie these up tight, and away goes the chin. I'm so handsome.
And so handsome. That's me right now. That's me with the making this little cat, our little cat friend. All right, we're gonna do not still frames. What's it? The keyframes. That's what we're doing. So he's over here. Now his leg's gonna be over here. And then we have to have like. Did I just volunteer to do a 360 animation for this character? Why did I do that? Now I have to have like some kind of rough model for how they look like in every single angle. Why have I done this? Yep. Great movie. Well, I don't know, I haven't watched it in a long time. I was a kid when I saw it, so. It's probably still good. Go. And he's still holding onto the ice cream cone there. And the cat ears. We show the shape of the cat's face. So the cat ears need to protrude here. That's where they exist. And all this is going to be rounded out because the cat's head is actually round. It's only sharp in the silhouettes because of the ears. So we gotta communicate that. I'm gonna make it look like his arms are attached over here or something. Okay, that's one frame. Now I have to do the back frame, which I think I'm just gonna yoink this, move it over here. Like so. Yeah, the movie looks old, and I love the old movie comedy vibe. Yeah, it's classic Adam Sandler, right? It's like on the same kind of tier as like Big Daddy. Or 41st Dates or something. It's around that era. It's like pre 9/11 New York. It's a very different vibe. Very different vibe. Very different time. Okay, and now the ears are facing back. There's nothing here. Maybe a tail or something. Maybe we'll give this little cat a tail or something. This ice cream cat. Again, if there's a good pun in there, let me know. I'm not a pun-oriented man. And this one we could just like flip horizontally and it'll be fine actually. You have to make it look like the cone is also rotating as well, dude. Nice. Okay, cool. 1 cent for this? Hey man, I'll take it, dude. 1 cent's more than I've earned ever in GameDev. I'll take it, brother. That's a great payday, man. I could afford to eat like a single bean. I could afford to feed my family with that. We'll be like Mickey and Donald Duck cutting that one piece of meat and one piece of bean in half into slices. Oh man. $1.99. Hey, now we're talking. I think I'm gonna sell the game for that price. If I'm gonna be honest with you. Probably less than that, honestly. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so we're gonna move this around here instead, like that. Spider-Man new movie, yeah, that's a thing that's happening. I'm not really a Marvel guy. Not really watching that stuff, but from what the people say, it sounds like it's very good. I remember last time. It's like Marvel's trying to get back in their hype cycle, right? Like after Endgame, things kind of died off there a little bit, but now it's not. It seems like they're coming back. And you know what? Maybe we'll have the drill actually move. Up and down a little bit. And then maybe we'll do some like additional like little added effects just to really indicate the swooshing feel. Yeah, this is less necessary, but this definitely feels necessary. Yeah, little like smears like that make a big difference, dude. Nice. Now it actually looks like the cat's drilling. Maybe we can add smears to the glasses as well, but that's not as important. Nice. Maybe we would add some extra in-betweens, but that seems fine so far. Yeah, I feel tempted to add it, but this is meant to be going fast anyways. I think I'll leave it for right now. Also, I need to actually rotate, made a little bit of a mistake. Sprite, edit, rotate, counterclockwise. You rotate the entire thing. Okay. Edit, drill, yes, add it. And then we go into the game. We go into Ice Cream Dude. Apply the same settings. Pixel sprite, 128 pixels. We create a new sprite binder. Everything's correct there. Yep. Cool. And then we can just go into the buddy registry and set the correct stuff. So now you're gonna use, you have that, and you're gonna have the this animation too. Perfect. For 1 cent, no, not for 1 cent. Late night stream, yeah, Tamirka. Yeah, dude. Can this dance? Dance why? I mean, spinning is kind of like dancing. There's a lot of dancing that does spinning. I'm realizing though that there's some logic that needs to be done in the drill, which is, dude, maybe I'll actually reparent the it'll be easier just to have this be attached to the player as opposed to not and calculating it. So like I think what I'm gonna do is we'll cache the buddy's parent on init. And then within the drill, we can reparent it, set it to where we want it to be, and then yeah. Be like what, root? Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. What's going on, Skittles? Glad to have you here. Also, hopefully you're doing good, Tamirka. I feel like the last streams I wasn't able to ask you how you doing and all that. It happens. Let me check something else real quick while I'm at it. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Did you mention that before, Skittles? I feel like I'm missing a conversation here. Set parent. So we set the parent, we do this transform, local position, the target position. We actually don't have to do anything else either. This actually works perfectly fine. Now that we do the reparenting. Do all this stuff, and then at the very end, we can just do transform, set parent, to buddy parent. Cool. Alright, sick. So we got that going. I think one last thing I need to do for the drill function is that we need to have you be... Your rotation has to be quaternion identity. Okay, cool. Alright. Is there something else I need to do? The buddy system. Because I want to test out this without having to... So instead of doing this, I think we're going to set it to drill specifically. So you can see how it functions and works. Hopefully everything just works, dude. Dude, it's supposed to be an art stream, man, but I keep... As soon as I make art, I immediately want to implement it. I don't want to just, like, bulk make art. I want to actually just throw it into Engine ASAP. I can't help myself, man. Come on. Compile. Compile. Hey, look at him. Drill buddy. Okay, I don't see where you're at. Oh, I see the drill animation, but you weren't at the right place. Okay. Something's going on. But we're getting somewhere. Buddy spy transforms apparent. Okay. What else we need to do? We'll do that. I also want to do... Flying sprite. Yeah, we're going to play your original idling sprite once you're returning back to normal. Okay, cool. Let's see how things turn out. So where is he? Where is our buddy? You are forever away, dude. Why is that? Oh, when we parent, do we just not... Oh, let me see something. Okay, update. Set parent root, yeah. Transform local rotation identity, yeah. Buddy sprite, local position. We do alert from the local position of our buddy, the target. And this works smoothly too. No, I should be able to alert even with moving targets. No, this is a fixed target. It's a fixed target. Target is consistent in local space. Okay. Buddy, oh, it's initial position. No, 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 no. It's simply going to be vector right 0.5. Yeah. Okay, Come on. Let's see here. Are you Canadian? Why do you ask? I know quite a number of Canadians. Yeah, look, we got a drill. We got the drill. Nice. Okay, it's a little small though. Let's go. We have to size up the sprite more. Oh, more. Here, our buddy's drilling. Let's go. Okay, no. I don't know why I started off activated. Okay, it's a little too... Yeah, maybe we'll do like 3. That seems more reasonable. Let's go. Yeah, we got the flopping ears. Yep. I need to fix the lerp movement, but... Right now this seems fine. Right now this is feeling pretty reasonable. And then we do boop into the next lane. Oh, I need to make this animation faster. It's too slow. Yeah, gotta do that. Let me do that real quick. This should be pretty simple. Speed, yeah, we'll make it like 10 or something, or 15, 14. Yeah, there we go. Now it looks like a drill. Nice. And then we drill. Oh, we're stuck. Ow. Yeah, I need to make the asteroids not be physical colliders. That's causing problems. Assign asteroid, yep. Is trigger is going to be true. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Okay, but I'm actually quite happy. Like, we actually started to have that functionality. Now we just need to update the main menu. I just love his expression. Let's find... Okay, here we go. Good status. Can I tell you what a singleton is? Sure. Do you know what static means at all? Out of curiosity? 'Cause we might have to talk about that first before we get into singleton. Or like a static versus concrete class. Static means not moving. In a physics sense, yes. And programming, it means something a bit different. So let's talk about this for a second. Let me go. Yeah, I'll just do this in ACE, right? Or maybe I'll just do Scratch. No, not screenshot. I don't care, we're gonna modify stuff. So like, I'm assuming you're familiar with classes. Do you know what classes are? Or structs are? Do you know what a class is? Yes. Okay. In fact, I'll just restate it anyways. So, you're asking about singleton, and that kind of requires that we talk about static and just classes, right? So classes are just containers of like variables, right? You can have something called fields, which is called like variables, right? And it can contain functions. So a class contains these two types of things, right? And oftentimes you treat classes like almost a blueprint to construct instances of it, right? So there might be time in your code where you go, oh, I have class, for example, I don't know, class cat. And cat has a name and, I don't know, an age, right? So somewhere else in code you might know, okay, I'm gonna create a new cat named Bob, and I'm gonna make a new instance of him, and his name's gonna be Bob, and he's 12 and whatever. And then you can make another cat named Andy, and Andy's like 88 years old. So we're referring to a concrete class, a class that allows you to produce different instances. So you have a special keyword called static, and you can apply it to fields. You could also apply it to the class itself. You could also apply it to functions. Something I didn't mention in that example is that if I said like, I can also define a function called, I don't know, meow, and it does something. Then you can call meow from Bob or Andy, right? It's a function you call specifically on these instances. So we have this idea, right? So when you have static, you're saying something very different, right? These variables, name and age, belong to a particular instance, right? So like whenever you access the name for Bob, it's always going to return Bob, right? You're never going to get the value that's stored in Andy, for example. The name and age belong to each individual instance. Static, however, is something different. You're saying essentially that these variables are going to be global. So I could say like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a practical example here. I don't know. Let's say like a cat registry, right? that's something that they're gonna be. That's like a global thing that exists independent of them, and we want every single cat to have a reference to like a registry or something. But you can do static registry and then I don't know, cat registry or whatever. And now all of a sudden, if you were to call like Bob dot, oh, you wouldn't call it that way. But all of a sudden, every single instance would have the same cat registry. They'd all point to the same exact thing. So static, you can think about it as like global. It's like, hey, this is gonna be a thing that's globally shared across every single instance. It doesn't matter how many instances there are, they're all gonna have that. Not only does that exist for variables, but that also exists for functions. Now this is very specific, right? Because remember this void, this function meow, where you have an instance of cat and you can call meow on it? When you say that a function is static, it means that this function is called not as part of a specific cat. So a function, a static function, you can almost think about it as like it's only going to have what you provide. The only thing this static function has access to is other static variables and other static functions. But everything within this, like for example, can't access name or age because this belongs to a specific instance of cat. I might have to do like a little diagram to better exemplify what this looks like. Oh no, inherent? No, that's, well, yeah, that is, but wait, what are you talking about? From the same blueprint. Is this what inheritance is? No, not no, inheritance is something very different. We could talk about what inheritance is. Which font do you use for your terminal? I don't remember, honestly. So, anyways, are we on the same page about static? I know it's very vague. I wish I had a better way of describing it. In fact, we'll just go to ASprite and maybe it'll be, maybe we can have a better understanding there. So I'm gonna do the same thing like cool. So you have a class, we're defining something in there. Same thing, name. And this is all necessary to talk about singletons. So class just defines like this container, and if you make new instances of like, let's say I said this in our example, there was like cat, right? Class cat. Cool. So this is our class cat, and then like you can make new instances of it. So we talked about a little example of like making an instance for like Bob and Andy. So like this one exists and he's Bob. And he's 32 or whatever. You get the idea. So this is instantial information. And then statics are different. Static is like global memory that's just gonna exist here independent of everything. Maybe we'll just move on if you already got it. And then static stuff is like a different part of memory entirely. Let's say registry here. So this is not part of the blueprint of this, like of these copies, right? You can think about it as like existing somewhere else. Or at least, or you can think about it like the original exists here within static land. We could say this here, right? Like you can imagine there's like another class cat or something. But yeah, this exists here, right? It doesn't exist in the instances. And if you try accessing this variable from the instances, like they're all going to be sharing the same thing. They're all going to be pointing to the same thing, which is the static value that's stored here. And the reason I think about like static as almost defining like a separate class is because it has its own things that it has its own like context of things it can access. So static registry would exist here, and if you had a static function, for example, like static register cat, that would also exist here. And the only thing this can really access this function is the other static members and functions in there. So you can't cross the streams and go over here unless like you have a function that takes in cat specifically, but static members only access other static members. And if all your variables and functions are static, well, congratulations, you have a static class. And that's what this is. So if you have a static class, you no longer can have these variables that belong to specific instances. You're saying concretely everything is static. So the whole point of this is that you can have a class that's not static, a concrete class, but have it have a static reference to itself. Static cat, I don't know, global instance. And that's kind of what a singleton is, where you're saying, hey, we have this one non-static class, but we're going to pretend as if it was static. And you can do different things to enforce that. So like a lot of times what people do, because if you're going to say, hey, I'm going to have one concrete class with a static reference to itself that anyone can access, but I want to make sure that there's only ever one, you can do stuff like, hey, on this cat constructor, right? We can check to see, hey, does a cat.global instance exist? If it does, you have two options. You can either like replace it with your new instance, or you can delete this instance and say, my bad, didn't know you were here already, I'll just go. And that's what a singleton really is. At the end of the day, that's just kind of what you're doing. It's a way of kind of forcing a non-static class to be static. And that's a singleton, and you see that all the time. I use it like right now for my game. We have an application class, FNF application. It's a non-static concrete class, but essentially it needs to just kind of act like a static class because it's going to exist throughout the entirety of the game application. It's the arbiter for everything, all the save data, everything that's important belongs to here, is stored within here. But because we're using a game engine, and because it's using like a and we need to have it be driven by certain game engine events and whatnot, I have to use like an underlying class that's not concrete, or that is concrete and not static. So this is the next best thing. Yeah, if you look underneath here, if I go to the game application, you're gonna find that I'm doing the static stuff here. Like right here, you say, hey, if S application is not equal null, then we destroy this one. That's the option I chose here, and return. Otherwise, we set this static instance to this new object that exists. Bam, singleton. So yeah, this is your little crash course on that, and it's very different than inheritance. Very different than inheritance. How's it going, Crisis King? Good to see you, man. So yeah, hopefully, does that answer your question? Hopefully that clarifies things. Of course. What's going on, motivational life? I go to sleep and wake up when I wake up, man. Motivational life. Yeah, static is a whole thing. It's pretty cool. I like doing that stuff. Static functions are actually pretty cool too, because you can kind of ensure that they're kind of side effectless, almost. It's a nice way of saying, hey, dude, I'm not modifying any instances directly in here unless you give me something to modify. And then there's also extensions in C#. That's a particular thing. But yeah. What are you cooking today? I was working on some character stuff. So we have new buddies in the game now, so they actually accompany you. We talked about adding this feature a while ago, and we've done the art today for it, and I've kind of implemented it roughly. So now we have a little cat buddy who's following us around. And when I decide to activate the ability, they pop up and we can just drill stuff. So now we're not alone, we have a little buddy following us around. Like when class extends to other, no, that's a very different thing, AYZ. So what you're talking about is like inheritance, right? Like there's different syntax for inheritance, but the simple gist of it is just like almost copy and pasting the contents of one class to another. So you have class A, it has stuff in it, and then you have class B, which inherits from A, and maybe it introduces a few new things like stuff 2, and then when you're actually using it, class B in practice has stuff and stuff 2. Essentially, this is just copying and pasting the contents of like the parent into the child. And they use different terminology. Sometimes it extends. I think TypeScript uses extends. Sometimes you use just this simple terminology. No, when I mean extensions, it's a way of adding extra functions to classes without having to modify them. So like, let's say I have class A and it has some data that does some stuff, right? And I find it useful. Like I'm using class A for things. And let's say I want to have a function where I want to do like maybe I want to be able to do add data A and data B. I want a function that does that. But let's say for whatever reason I can't modify the original class A for whatever reason. Maybe it's like in a DLL or something, or it's a protected, I don't know. It's something that we just cannot access for whatever reason. Well, you can do something called extensions that allow you to add a function to this class without modifying the original class, and you can basically just call data.add like what we outlined over there. And the way you do that is by defining static classes. So you can go into, we'll just do it right now, right here. So we're gonna make a public static class. We're gonna call it, let's say, I don't know, int extensions. Let's see if this works actually. If I can just do int extensions. Usually it's for structs and stuff, but we're gonna see if we can just do this. So the simple syntax is this: you do public or whatever void static void and then do thing. And then here you're going to specify the target of your extension, right? So in this case, I'm going to say int a. Let's see if this works. However, this doesn't quite do the thing, because you'd end up having to type in practice, like to use this function, you'd have to do int extension dot do thing and then pass in a. We don't want that. What I want to do is to be able to just type a dot do thing and that's it, right? So what you do is, instead of just doing int a, you do this int a, and all of a sudden you can do whatever you want to do and return whatever value you're going to do. And now I can just call int do a. So let's make it int, I don't know, example equals 2. I should be able to call example dot do thing, and look at that. That's the function we just made, do thing. And if you go to it, that's the one we just defined right here. Without this keyword, I would have to do int extensions dot do thing and then pass in our example. But by simply just using this keyword, bam, I can just call do thing on whatever data type I want to use. So I do this a lot for like vector 3s or vector 2s, all the swizzling stuff, all the override stuff I'm doing. It's using vector extensions. It's really freaking cool. It's not here. It's you explain how extensions work. Yeah. Or projects have you completed so far? Like in life, I have no idea. Probably a good chunk. A bunch of different versions and tools for work and stuff like that. I don't know. Too much to count. Actually, how much I completed, I don't know. I hear collections are bad for memory allocation. We're working a garbage collected language. Everything is bad for memory allocation. Collections, depending on what you do with them, can be very bad. You can easily create new allocations. So here's the thing, right? Like, your whole game within working in a garbage collected language is to mitigate how much garbage you generate, so you don't have to have the garbage collector run. How do I work without creating an object? There's no need to create an object. We're just avoiding modifying the original object. But yeah, like if you look at a profiler, you'll see periodic spikes within a garbage collected language, right? And that's because, like, within a GC language, you have this underlying process running that's constantly checking memory, constantly checking references, and then checking to see if it's reached a certain threshold to do cleanup, right? And the more garbage you generate, the faster and more frequent that GC call happens. And it's not cheap. That leads to spikes in frame rate and slowdown and a bunch of stuff. So your goal is to eliminate how much GC pressure you generate, which is why like how you deal with collections or just a bunch of just generating objects in general is important. If you look at like in Unity, they have a profiler, and you can actually see where the allocations are happening in your application. They show up as like little red dots on the bottom here. So I'm going to run the game, and we're going to see where the allocations are happening. So let's just pause right here. Let's stop. I'm going to go into timeline, and you can zoom into where your game is actually running. And you can see where the spikes pop up, usually it's the GC stuff that's causing those big spikes. Let's see where we're doing. I can see some over here, I think. Can we zoom in better? Thank you. See, every time you see these little red things here, that's a GC alloc that's happening, and it shows you how much the size is. So it's like 32 bytes here, 32 bytes there, 20 bytes there. Seems small, but you know, when you're doing allocations like that every single frame, or if you're doing that like every single frame, it adds up very quickly, and it doesn't take that much to have the GC run. So that's why like using a profiler is super important, because like there's times and places where it's fine to generate garbage because it's happening infrequently or it's small, but in situations where it's like a lot, you don't want to deal with that. If you can, deal with working with stack allocations as opposed to generating heaps. Sometimes it's better to just do a for loop with the integer instead of like having a whole enumerator get allocated. I think C# is pretty good with that with a lot of their collections, but it's still a thing that happens on occasion. I'm not seeing much allocations happening right now. Usually up front you see more of them happening. Yeah, like right here. And keep in mind the allocation is not necessarily the bad part. It's when they become orphaned. Do you guys know how like garbage collection, like you know that garbage collection is kind of like a reference counted thing, right? So as soon as the object you've allocated has no other references to it, it's considered orphaned and it gets marked for cleanup. I'm not fully used to C#. I come from JS and Python, but you explain it really well. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. Thank you, man. Yeah, and that's why, like, you know, as you get more into the weeds, and if you get into more performance-intensive stuff, like, you start realizing just kind of, like, how crazy the GC can be. It's actually pretty good, like, decent. C# is pretty good with it, but there's languages where the solution is everything is going to be heap allocated. So like it gets very slow and clunky in a hurry. The cool thing about C# at least is that you have options, right? Like you could choose to stack allocate stuff or use value type objects as opposed to like things that are going to be heap allocated, or you know, prevent things from getting boxed onto the heap. Yeah, once there's no reference, it's literally considered garbage. Yeah, and it's marked. And depending on the size, it might be dealt with differently. There's something called the large object heap, and that happens when the object you've allocated is greater than 186,000 kilobytes, I think. Or 86,000 bytes. So, 86 kilobytes. I hear Unity can't compete with Spring Engine in terms of object count. Something like Mesh Collider because Unity are a collection object. I'm sorry, what? I've never heard of Spring Engine, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me search this up. Spring Engine. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, you can force, like, you can force Unity to do really extreme things, but you get to the point where you're essentially writing your own game engine, right? Let's see here. Spring is a free RTS game engine. Okay, so it's an engine that seems like optimized for high counts. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, Unity hasn't been great with like this kind of stuff. They have things like the burst compiler, which allows for dealing with high object counts and stuff like that. But they've kind of like not done much with it as far as dots are concerned. Like 10K units, yeah. Yeah, I have to check it out. It looks cool though. I'm sorry, it's doing the little anime girl like verification thing. Let's see here. No, but you could totally do some gnarly stuff with Unity as well. It's just that the more gnarly you go, the more you stop basically using Unity and substituting your own stuff. Like, you start slopping in some DLLs to do some gnarly stuff. I'm trying to see. Come on, let me see more. I'm trying to see more of this engine though. But I'm not seeing. Stop! You're loud. Okay, I want to see a different showcase than that one. I think you should check it out though. I mean, yeah, I want to eventually switch to some other stuff, dude. Some other engine. Low stuff like this, you're pretty much able to code up your... Yeah, I mean, there's still constraints you deal with, and there's friction, right? Because, like, you're still in a fundamentally managed language. So, sure, you can move stuff to unmanaged land, or you can do unsafe stuff, but like there's always friction because you're dealing with things from this language. Like you have to deal with like finalizers and the oddities that they have sometimes, or all the time. It's gnarly. Yeah, it's super, yeah. Or like having to worry about object generation or GC generation for objects. That's a whole thing. When you start like profiling the heap. Yeah, dude, it's but if you want to squeeze it, if you want to like have nice performance characteristics, then that's some things you just kind of keep in consideration. I mean, you don't have to go that deep, but like even simple things like, all right, I'm gonna be mindful about how many objects you're generating. How often is GC running? Can we reduce that? Is there a place that's creating a disproportionate amount of cost, and is it necessary? Stuff like that, you know. And that's cool because that sounds like I like C# because it at least gives you like the options to do that, or at least a lot more options than a lot of other languages. But at some point I'm gonna just go into my land in C and I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna go into my C little project or my C project and I could be good there, and then I need to figure out writing like I need to make an interpreter for Blender's blend files. But that's a future project for later, dude. Yeah, it's the best of both worlds. On one end, you can be ultra optimal. On the other hand, you can just like use dynamic and pretend like you're in JavaScript and it's fine. You just say that everything's dynamic now. What? Did I declare a variable? No, sir. It's dynamic now. It could be anything. Unless you're using like IL2C++, and then you can't use dynamics, but that's a different thing. I already committed my stuff for today. I hope I didn't. I know I was doing like a little example thing. I can't remember if I actually generated any code that I have saved. Let me check git status. Oh, example 2. Yeah, no, we don't need that. Actually, where is it? I'll just delete it manually. There we go. Check out Beyond All Reason. Is that like a demo scene thing? Also, when you said Spring Engine, I thought you were talking about Spring Boot for a second. I was like, what are you talking about? Spring Boot for high instance physics collision stuff. What's going on here? I don't know, dude. I'm excited though about Box 3D. I mean, that's part of the reason why I want to just start doing my own thing already. Because there's a bunch of cool libraries I want to use that seem very cool and powerful and capable of so many different things. And I'm stuck here using this tech stack and using the same ding dong engine. It's killing me, man. It's killing me. It's an upcoming RTS video game. Okay. I'm looking at the wiki. There's got to be some videos of it though. Oh, that's gnarly. That's gnarly. Let me show you guys. This looks. The thumbnail already looks crazy. Okay, we're just gonna move this here. Look at that, dude.
Welcome to the most unreasonable.
Ah, stop. Oh, I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this. Yeah. This is gnarly. The scale of it. And here's the thing, dude. Like, I get so mad, dude, because it's like modern machines are capable of so much, and yet we've been conditioned to expect so little of it. Not because the hardware is weak. The hardware is like a work of art. It's just, we don't get software developers don't get to leverage this. Not even like not even saying it's intentional all the time. It's it's just something that we kind of look at this, dude. That's insane. Look at the scope of this, man. That is sick, dude. What's going on, Cosmos? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good today. That are essentially reskins like 0K, Evolution RTS, etc. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly, dude. Yeah, look at that. Pretty freaking gnarly, dude. Pretty freaking gnarly. Yeah, that's pretty sick. I've never really played RTSs, if I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't even know where to start. I've been recommended a bunch of different stuff, like Heart of Iron. There's what was it? There's a space one, Stellaris, I think. Civilization and stuff. I don't know. I guess I'm too analysis paralysis. Okay, I don't think there's any reasonable work I'm gonna get done tonight. So I think all right. We already got quite a reasonable amount of work done today. So I think I call it here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, God bless, and until next time, stay cozy. Bye-bye. Yeah, it's Linux AYZ. I'm using some Linux. What can I say, man? We're Linux guys. By the way, I use Vim, by the way. I use Vim. Like, I use Vim Motions, by the way. Just want to share that. Alright, anyways. Goodbye, guys. You have a good night. Rest well, and I'll catch you guys next stream. Till then.